The road to Ugheg Forest was never one to be traveled at night. The elders used to say, "If the sun has gone to sleep, so must your feet rest." But Okiemute was not a man of old beliefs. He was a man of numbers, business, and logic. Superstitions had no place in his world. The wipers of his black SUV scraped rhythmically across the windshield, fighting against the relentless rain. The road ahead twists like an ancient serpent, barely visible through the mist. He had spent the entire day in Benin City, closing one of the biggest deals of his career. A real estate contract worth millions. His mind was still buzzing with the excitement of success, but now, at this hour, there was only one thing on his mind: getting home. His phone vibrates on the dashboard. He glances at the screen. Efemena. A small, tired smile touches his lips as he reaches for the phone. His wife. She had called him 3 times already. A woman's instinct. They say it is stronger than the pull of the ocean. He answers, pressing the phone between his ear and shoulder as he grips the wheel. "Okiemute, please, it's getting late. The storm is getting worse," Efemena said. Her voice carried something beyond worry. A kind of unease that clawed at the edges of her words. Okiemute chucked said, "I know, my love. Just a little more and I'll be home. Let me just get past this cursed road." He doesn't see it yet. The shape. The shadow. Standing in the middle of the road, waiting motionless. If only he had listened. If only he had turned around. Another lightning flash, crack, and suddenly the darkness ahead shifts. A figure barely human stands in the middle of the road, wrapped in a long, tattered cloth. Face hidden, body still, watching. Then, it happened. His eyes widen. His foot slams on the brakes. Tires scream against the wet road. But it's too late. Crash. The SUV skids, spinning wildly, water spraying everywhere. The car lurches off the road, smashes into a towering tree. The windshield splinters like a spider's web. Metal groans. Silence. For a long moment, there is nothing. Just the sound of rain. Then drip, drip, blood slides down his forehead, pooling at the corner of his eye. His phone lies on the dashboard, the screen still glowing. Efemena. And then the whispers began. Someone is moving just beyond the trees. A dark silhouette steps closer, leaning over the wreckage. His skin is wrinkled like the bark of an ancient tree, his eyes hollow, empty, yet full of knowledge beyond time. That night, Okiemute was supposed to die. But fate had other plans. Okiemute's body lay among the others, waiting. Silent. Still. Too still. F stops in front of a single stretcher. He hesitates, his breath shaky. The mortuary attendant slowly pulls back the sheet. Okiemute's face is pale, his lips slightly parted, as if caught in the middle of a sentence he never got to finish. But something was wrong. F stares at his friend's lifeless body, his face contorting in confusion. He leans in closer. Why does he still look like this? As if he's just sleeping. Yefi said. The body was too untouched. The color of his skin, the way his hands lay gently on his chest, it was unnatural. Almost waiting. The mortuary attendant shifts uneasily, refusing to meet F's eyes. People like this should not be buried in a hurry, he said. F's head snaps toward the man, his heart pounding. But before he can ask anything, the mortuary door creaks open, flooding the room with light. A deep, commanding voice fills the space. The elders have spoken. The burial will be tomorrow, Chief Onom said loudly. The village square is alive with murmurs. Groups of men sit on wooden benches, whispering. Women with baskets of fresh cassava pause to share hushed rumors. The air is thick with unease. Death is never silent in Ogidigbo. And Okimute's was no exception. A group of elderly women sit under a mango tree, their voices low but sharp. They say he died in the hands of the forest spirits. Women gossiped. This was not an ordinary accident, they continued. There was no blood on the ground where he crashed. The men joined the conversation. I swear, I heard my uncle say he saw footprints leading away from the accident site, another man said. You fools believe anything. The dead do not walk. A voice from behind said. There are those in the village who see beyond flesh and bone. Suddenly, a sharp crack. A shell splits in two beneath her fingers. Her breath catches. The shadows in the room seem to shift. Her lips part, whispering words only the spirits understand. This is not an ordinary death, Mama Iridi said. But no one listened. In life, a man is known by his deeds. In death, he is remembered by the echoes he leaves behind. Tonight, Okimute's story was being told for the last time. Okiemute was not just any man. He was a man of ambition. a man who walked with his head high. But sometimes, when a man walks too boldly, the spirits take notice. No one wanted to speak of it, but the truth sat heavy in the air. This death was not ordinary. Efemena, draped in a dark shawl, sits apart from the crowd. Her eyes, empty of tears now, are fixed on the ground. Beside her, Okimute's best friend, F, watches the fire, his face tight with something unreadable. A gust of wind rushes through the village square, making the flames dance wildly for a moment. The drummers falter. A hush settles over the crowd. It lasts only a second, but it is enough. At midnight, when the living are lost in dreams, the dead remember. And sometimes they move. The mortuary attendant, a man named Charie, sits behind the counter, half asleep. His eyes flutter closed, open, closed again. Then a sound. A whispering rustle. Soft. Almost breathing. Chabarie's eyes snap open. He listens. He shifts in his chair. Picks up a lantern. Moves toward the cold room. Each step creaks against the wooden floor. As he reaches the door, the lights flicker once. Twice. Then, the room is plunged into darkness. Charie stops. His breath catches in his throat. Then creak. The mortuary door swings open. Slowly. By itself. A single gust of cold air rushes past him, sending shivers down his spine. Charie hesitates, his fingers trembling around the lantern's handle. Then, gathering his courage, he peeks inside. Okimute's body was gone. The sun rises over Okidigbo, but peace does not come with it. A loud scream shatters the morning stillness. The camera rushes toward the mortuary, where Charie stands frozen, pointing at the empty stretcher. His mouth moves, but no words come out. A dead man does not walk. A dead man does not leave. But Okiemute was gone. The villagers gather in minutes, their voices rising in panic. This is an abomination. I said it. I said this death was not natural. Efemena stumbles forward, her eyes wide with horror. What do you mean he's gone? Bodies don't just disappear. Yefi asked. I heard something. I swear. Before the lights went out, I heard breathing. A deathly silence falls over the crowd. Chief Onom steps forward, his face like carved stone. Find him, Chief Onom said, grinding his teeth. But how do you find a man who is no longer a man? A missing body. A soul trapped between the living and the dead. Okidigbo had seen many things before, but never this. The elders sit in a tight circle beneath the great Irako tree, their faces etched with worry. Chief Onom, his voice heavy with authority, speaks first. Who has stolen the body of the dead? Silence. No one dares to speak. No one dares to move. The villagers watch from a distance, their eyes wide, their hearts unsteady. To steal from the dead was to bring misfortune upon an entire lineage. Chief Onom turns to Charie, the mortuary attendant. The poor man trembles, sweat glistening on his forehead. He stammers, but no words come. The elders murmur among themselves. The village is restless. Fear, once hidden in hushed voices, now grows bold. Then a voice cuts through the murmurs. An old, brittle voice. Mama Iridi. He is not dead. A chill runs through the gathering. Eyes dart toward Mama Iridi, the old seer, the woman who speaks in riddles and warnings. No one believed her words. But no one could ignore them either. The next day, the village square. A group of uniformed policemen arrive, their faces hardened, their boots crunching against the earth. They spread out, questioning, searching. The law had come. But what could the law do against the unknown? A policeman kneels near the mortuary entrance, running his fingers through the soil. There are no footprints. No signs of a struggle. Another officer stands beside the empty stretcher, shaking his head in disbelief. He glances at his superior, who exhales sharply, rubbing his temples. There was no blood trail. No broken locks. No forced doors. Efemena watches from a distance, her arms wrapped around herself. Her face is a mask of grief, but her eyes are hollow. She turns away, her voice barely above a whisper. If we do not find him, his spirit will never rest. She muttered. F standing before a group of young men. Their faces are tense, their fists clenched. The flickering torchlight casts jagged shadows across their features. F's voice is steady, but his knuckles are white as he grips his machete. If the spirits have taken him, we will bring him back, he said authoritatively. The young men nod. Some clutch hunting rifles. Others carry charms, whispering silent prayers to ancestors long forgotten. Through the village, through the thick forests beyond, they would search. Not for justice. Not for revenge. but for the truth. As the torches flicker, as feet begin to move into the darkness, a cold wind rushes through the trees. The forest does not welcome them. Every step feels heavier. Every breath, a struggle. The air is thick, not with mist, but with something unseen, something watching. F moves ahead, his torch casting a glow on the ground. Then something catches his eye. A disturbance in the mud. Footprints. Fresh. They stop. The footprints are clear. Too clear. The rain had washed away everything else, yet these remained untouched. A shiver runs through the group. The footprints lead deeper into the woods, winding like a trail left by something not of this world. The search party hesitates. But hesitation is not an option. Okiemute is out there. Somewhere. And so they follow. They push forward, their torches swaying, their hearts pounding louder than the rustling leaves. A distant owl hoots, an omen of death. Or a warning. Either way, they do not turn back. The forest tightens around them. The trees stand taller. The air grows colder. Then they see it. The torches reveal an opening in the trees, a place untouched by time. In the center, a stone altar stands, its surface slick with something dark, something fresh. Around it, candles flicker. Some new, some melted down to mere puddles of wax. And there, placed with unsettling precision, lay Okimute's clothes, torn and blood-stained. This was no accident. This was a ritual, they whispered with fear. F steps closer, his breath hitching as he sees symbols carved into the stones. Symbols older than the village itself, symbols of power. Just then, something moved in the shadows. Something or someone. Then, a figure emerges. Slowly, as if he had been waiting for them. The search party freezes. Their minds reel, grasping for logic where none exists. How could he be alive? And if he was, where was he now? Baba Ojongolo moves toward the altar, tracing the symbols with his fingertips. The moment his skin touches the stone, a low hum vibrates through the ground. The past bleeds into the present. They did not find him. They took him. He was never meant to return. Okiemute was not stolen. He was claimed. They turned back to leave, but suddenly, there I met something. The living dead. The shrine stands in eerie silence, the candle flames flickering as if whispering secrets to the night. The search party remains frozen, their breath shallow, their hearts hammering against their ribs. Then a sound. Faint at first. A slow, deliberate shuffle. Footsteps. The men glance at each other, their grip tightening on their torches. The night holds its breath. The footsteps grow louder, closer. Each step unnaturally precise, as if the earth itself recoils beneath it. And then a shadow emerges from the darkness. Then they see him. Okiemute. Alive. But this was not the Okiemute they knew. His once warm eyes now burned with an unnatural glow, a dim, eerie light that did not belong to this world. His skin, pale and ashen, looked as if the blood in his veins had long since turned cold. Efemena gasps, her body trembling. She stares at the man she loves, the man she mourned. She takes a step forward, her heart warring with the fear in her soul. Okiemute? Efemena called out. But Okiemute does not move. Not at first. Then, with slow precision, his head tilts, and he speaks. Stay away. His voice is low, brittle, as if carried by a wind from another realm. His words are not a plea. They are a warning. Then Baba Ojongolo steps forward, his ancient eyes knowing, his face unreadable. Ali Baba Ojongolo speaks. The dead do not return without a price. Efemena's eyes fill with tears. She does not care what price was paid. Her husband is here. He is breathing. He is real. She takes another step forward, reaching for him. But the moment her fingers stretch toward his skin, Okiemute takes a sharp step back. A shudder ripples through his body. He clenches his fists, his breath ragged, struggling against something unseen. You must not touch me, Okiemute shouted. Efemena halts. The tears spill over her cheeks, but she does not move. The pain in his voice is too real, too raw. The shrine grows darker, the shadows stretching toward Okiemute like grasping fingers. Okiemute lifts his gaze, his glowing eyes flickering as if struggling against a force far greater than himself. Okiemute said softly, as if his voice wasn't his. They saved me. A pause. Then his voice lowers, almost a whisper carried by the night itself. But they demand something in return. The search party stiffens. The flames around them flicker violently, casting ghostly figures against the trees. The price for life is always steep. Okiemute's old life no longer exists. His home, his family, his name. Everything must be left behind. Efemena chokes back a sob, shaking her head, refusing to believe the horror before her. Efemena pleads softly, "No, no, we can fix this." "You're back." "No, I am not back," Okiemute said. Okiemute was standing before them, but he was no longer theirs. He was something else now. Something not meant for this world. The village had never been more divided. Some stood in silent horror, refusing to believe what their eyes beheld. Others whispered anxiously among themselves, eyes darting from Chief Onom to Baba Ojongolo, from Efemena to Okiemute, who stood in the middle of them all, neither living nor dead, neither belonging to the world of men nor fully lost to the realm of spirits. The silence was shattered by Chief Onom's voice. "The dead should remain dead," Chief Onom said. His words hung in the air like an axe poised to fall. He was the voice of the ancestors, the guardian of the village's sacred traditions. And tradition was clear. Those who crossed the boundary between life and death had no place among the living. The villagers murmured in agreement, their gazes flickering with uncertainty. To keep Okiemute among them was to court disaster. But to cast him away? Then another voice rose. Efemena stepped forward, her eyes brimming with desperate hope. Her hands trembled as she reached for him, but she stopped just short, her fingers curling into fists against the weight of her grief. "Okiemute, you can fight this. You can come back to us," Efemena said, sobbing. Her voice. It was a tether, pulling at the shreds of humanity still clinging to his soul. He closed his eyes, and for a fleeting moment, the memories came rushing in. Laughter shared beneath the mango tree, whispered promises in the moonlight, the soft warmth of her hand in his. But then, a cold wind stirred the dust beneath his feet. A whisper, soft yet insistent, curled around his ear like an unseen serpent. The spirits that had saved him would not let go so easily. He opened his eyes again, and they were glowing. Mama Iridi stepped forward, her frail hands gripping a calabash filled with dark herbs. Her eyes, clouded with age yet sharp with ancient wisdom, locked onto Okiemute's. Mama Iridi began to speak. "The spirits do not own you, child. Their hold can be broken." A murmur of hope rippled through the crowd. If the seer said it could be done, then perhaps there was a way. She knelt before a small fire, grinding the herbs between her fingers. The air thickened with the scent of burning leaves, of unseen forces stirring in agitation. But before she could begin, Baba Ojongolo's voice sliced through the night like a blade. "If you break the bond, he will truly die this time," he said, voice loud. The spirits within him surged, tightening their grip, whispering in a language older than time itself. The village watched, their breath caught in their throats, as he swayed between two worlds. One pull dragging him back to his wife, his home, his past, the other luring him into the depths of the unknown, a realm of shadows and secrets. The flames around them flickered wildly, as if the elements themselves knew that a choice was upon them. Efemena's tears glistened in the firelight. "Okiemute, please," she cried out. His hands clenched at his sides. His breaths came in ragged gasps. And then, the wind stopped. The world held its breath. Okiemute collapsed, once again lying lifeless. His wife cried out, screaming his name. The villagers stood in anticipation. But nothing happened. His body didn't check, no sign of life in him. He laid there for hours and everyone stood there. No one moved a foot for hours. After a few hours, no sign of anything. People started leaving, one after the other. Efemena was the only one left with her husband's dead body. He was taken back to the mortuary. He was declared dead. Efemena didn't accept it. She didn't believe he was dead. She lived on after the burial, as if her husband was with her. No one understood why Okiemute went through that part. It was a mystery and story told with fear to the new generation. Life is a place of uncertainty. We don't understand everything that happens to us or the reason why it happens. Some mystery of life remain.